Might as well just record this. What's the problem though? We're here for an event. Like, I'm just standing here.
I'm asking you to leave.
This is a presidential campaign event, right? Can you just explain to me like why you're asking it? Why?
Yes, if Nikki Haley can talk to people who challenge her here in the United States, she has no business representing our country abroad, period. Vivek replied to this video.
Might as well just record this. What's the problem though? We're here for an event. Like, I'm just standing here.
I'm asking you to leave.
This is a presidential campaign event, right? Can you just explain to me like why you're asking it? Can you just explain to me like why you're asking me to leave?
Because they want you to leave.
Why?
It's private property, miss.
Right, but it's an event. I'm standing here. Like, what's the issue?
Will you please gather your things and leave, please?
I don't understand. Like, what's the issue if you work for Nikki's campaign?
Why?
Why? I'm sitting here signed up for the event.
I told you. That's all I was advised. And now I'm asking you to move from the premises.
What's the point of having town halls if you're just going to kick people out? She wants to be the first female president, and she's kicking a woman out of her event.
I'm not here to answer questions. If you have any comments or concerns, you can contact them. Well, I'm here to do security, so please move.
You guys sent me an email. I got your text blast, and it said to sign up for the event. So what is the issue?
I'm asking you nicely.
Well, I think I'm asking pretty nicely as well.
And I don't have answers for you, I'm sorry. Right. I just got advised that you must leave the premises, and that's why I'm here. So I apologize. Thank you.
All right. I guess Nikki Haley's anti-woman.
Have a nice day.
Nikki Haley just called the cops on me and had me escorted out of her town hall in Iowa. I was literally just standing and her staff let me inside the event after they sent me confirmations of my ticket. Nikki Haley wants to be president and talks a big talk about how she's going to use her heels to put dictators in their place. But she is so triggered by my presence, she had two police remove me from her event. How does Nikki Haley plan on dealing with Putin, and if she can't even handle Laura Loomer? That is the question a lot of people are asking. Nikki Haley clearly does not support free speech. For someone who likes to pretend to be anti-dictator, she sure is acting like a dictator by using her police to have women removed from her event. Way to enforce the concept of weaponized government on the 3-year anniversary of January 6th. Nikki Haley is insane here. I don't get the point. If you are a presidential candidate, you should be able and be ready to handle tough questions.
Came the next day and they held hands and said they were friends. We now know the Russian intelligence is what helped Hamas know how to get through that barrier. See the connection. If we supported Ukraine and supported Israel, that's only 5% of our defense budget.
See, Putin and Ukraine are actually integrally connected to Hamas and Israel, and we need to spend all of our attention and all of our money on those matters rather than on our own country, which is degrading faster than most people can even keep track of. Well, that's completely insane, of course, but it's also something that Joe Biden might say were he capable of speaking that lucidly, and it's certainly something that Joe Biden's biggest donors agree with, which is why many of them are now backing Nikki Haley. See how this works? Vivek Ramaswamy does. He's actually engaged in this. He's running for president, and he's figured out what's actually going on. He joins us now. Vivek, thanks so much for coming on. What have you noticed about the kind of subtext to this race? What's actually going on here, do you think?
Yeah, well, look, I've been convinced for a long time, Tucker, that this was not going to be a standard Trump versus Biden race. Right. There's just been enough staring you in the face that made that obvious, right? You start with the trials and the civil trials and the prosecutions, and then they go to the non-prosecution and illegal removals from a ballot without trial on the Trump side. The thing that fascinated me about the Biden side of this, though, is you also see some of the same dynamics. The documents case for Biden trotting itself out after years, long ago in the Senate. You see a lot of other things with Biden. Why is the Hunter stuff coming out now when this has been known for 7 years? And so where I thought this was going was Gavin Newsom or Michelle Obama or whichever other puppet they're trotting out to replace Biden. But one of the things that's become clear to me, so that's where I thought this was going. It was not what was meeting the eye, for sure. I think what's become clear to me now, I'm in the thick of this GOP primary, is that the real puppet they're trotting out isn't Gavin Newsom. It isn't Michelle Obama. I was wrong about that, actually. I think the true puppet masters, the thing about them is they're fundamentally nonpartisan in nature. There's a few things they care about. Keeping the foreign war machine humming is high on the list. Keeping the administrative state's control of the United States is also high on the list. They found a much more convenient puppet within the Republican Party itself. It's not Gavin, it's not Michelle, it's Nikki, actually. And I think that if you just follow exactly who are the very people who are paying to keep Donald Trump off the ballot, who are funding the lawsuits that keep Trump off the ballot, the Reid Hoffmans of the world funding lawsuits against Trump, the Larry Finks of the world, king of the woke industrial complex, CEO of BlackRock, it's just obvious and hiding in plain sight. Who are these people propping up? It's not Biden, and it's not even Gavin Newsom. It's Nikki Haley within the Republican Party itself. And I think that that makes for a very convenient frontman, because then they actually have absolved themselves from any allegations of partisanship or Democratic partisanship against Donald Trump. They can say, oh, no, we're not partisans. We're actually bipartisan. Actually, the deep state, and I would say the managerial class more broadly, is fundamentally nonpartisan. They have their core objectives, and Nikki makes for a far better Trojan horse to actually accomplish that objective than anybody else. And so when you look at the dynamics within the mega donor class or otherwise, it is now crystal clear to me, Tucker, that let's just get to exactly the plan that they have. I mean, I've been alluding to this for a long time. I wanted people in the campaign trail and others to be able to draw their own conclusions. I don't want to stuff my views down people's throats. But
this reminded me just a few days ago when a question surfaced to Nikki Haley about the Civil War. Nikki Haley refusing to talk about this issue of slavery immediately just jumped in like they are sending in plan into her town halls. Therefore, Mish is not ready to handle tough question. Then you are not ready to be president. If you can't defend yourself to take in people with difficult questions, then it is insane. Laura went in just with question, pay her ticket, it was accepted, rejecting, kicking her out. I don't know why she did that exactly. What was the need to even go town hall if you can't be able to allow people you disagree with in? I believe as a presidential candidate, you should be able to take questions from any person. Yes, it means you are ready. I'm seeing Vivek doing that often, not selecting people into town halls. This clearly shows you how she is ejecting herself. She's not ready to be president. I think I put out a video a few hours ago where this lady actually made it clear. You saw what happened during that CNN debate. Nikki Haley, a question surfaced about Trump. Her response clearly tells you what Nikki Haley is thinking. This is what the lady sent out. Nikki Haley disqualified herself last night from the Republican nominations. Haley thinks that President Trump might be a criminal, but not the illegal invading this nation. Nikki Haley says Trump needs to answer for some of the cases brought against him. That is it.
But let's keep in mind, these people that are wanting to come here, they want to come for a better life too. They have kids too. They have a heart too. So we don't need to be disrespectful. We don't need to talk about them as criminals. They're not. They're families that want a better life, and they're desperate to get here.